In the final days of 2025, Iran witnessed a short but violent wave of unrest that once again exposed deep structural divisions, both inside the country and among its opposition abroad. The uprising began on 28 December 2025, when protesters took to the streets and markets of Tehran. Initially driven by economic collapse, inflation, and political frustration, the demonstrations quickly evolved into broader anti-government protests, questioning the legitimacy of the ruling system. In the early phase, President Masoud Pezeshkian attempted to calm tensions by calling for dialogue and reconciliation with demonstrators. These efforts failed to produce any compromise, and protests continued without meaningful concessions or structural reform. As unrest unfolded, major Persian-language satellite TV outlets abroad, including Iran International and Monoto TV, increasingly promoted monarchist narratives. Coverage focused heavily on Reza Pahlavi, presenting him as a unifying alternative to the Islamic Republic. Independent Iranian media expert Mazdak Azar, based in Sweden, reported that based on analysis of approximately 4,500 videos from inside Iran, Iran International exaggerated the presence of pro-Pahlavi protesters by up to 400%, while BBC Persian inflated such representation by around 100%. This pattern recalls the heavy media amplification of Ruhollah Khomeini in 1979, which contributed to the collapse of the Pahlavi monarchy and the rise of the Islamic regime. On 8th and 9th January 2026, Reza Pahlavi used social media to call on Iranians to take to the streets with the explicit aim of toppling the regime. Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei soon vowed to crush the protests. Security forces, including the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and Basij, launched a brutal crackdown. Estimates suggest around 5,000 people were killed, while some sources alleged far higher numbers. At the same time, while IRGC forces were killing protesters inside Iran, some pro-Pahlavi supporters in Europe and Canada were seen celebrating and dancing, openly enjoying the protections of Western democratic societies. In several cases, these groups also harassed, threatened, and physically attacked their opponents, particularly activists and Democrats who rejected replacing one dictatorship with another.
I didn't ask the people to come to the streets to fight against the regime because I wanted so.
The contrast highlighted a deep disconnect between exile politics conducted under democratic freedoms and the realities of repression and mass violence inside Iran. 2 weeks later, the regime remained in power. The greatest loss fell on those who believed a single figure would save them. Democracy was not demanded collectively, rights were not claimed from below, and once again, the promise of a quick solution produced deeper consequences.